Well, let's talk about the problems of the betrayed partner versus the problems of the unfaithful partner. And one person alluded to this, I forget who it was. When we talk about problems, what's going on in the betrayed partner's world? Trauma, PTSD, triggers, ruminating thoughts, lack of sleep, not eating properly, maybe an issue with boundaries. Hollywood movies playing over and over and over again in the mind. Those are the problems. If the betrayed partner is seeing a marriage counselor that is not solely focused on helping the betrayed partner through all of that, then what happens to all of that? It's still there. If this couple is talking about communication issues, yet the betrayed partner is trapped in a body, and we're going to talk about this in a little while, in a body that is hypersensitive, that is completely dysregulated, then nothing is going to get through. That the betrayed partner is in a trauma state. That person is in a survival mode state of mind. And listening to a counselor talk about better communication is going to do nothing to help that betrayed partner. So until we can help the betrayed partner work through the things like the trauma, the PTSD, the triggers, the ruminating thoughts, the Hollywood movies, the jumpiness, right? All of those things are the immediate problems. That's not marriage. That's not communication. That's not, conflict resolution. No, that is an immediate physiological need in the betrayed partner's body that must be addressed. And that is best addressed individually, not with the unfaithful partner sitting there, and certainly not with a therapist or a counselor or a coach that is not trauma informed. Somebody who has not gone through betrayal has no idea what triggers really are. Somebody that hasn't gone through betrayal doesn't understand the Hollywood movies that play over and over and over again in the mind of the betrayed partner. The betrayed partners end up having to explain it. And then the counselor or the coach is like, okay, well, why don't you just stop thinking about that? Why don't you go to bed a little earlier? Why don't you take a walk before you go to sleep? No, Hollywood movies are keeping this person awake to the point where the only time they sleep is when it's from complete exhaustion, which we call the freeze state, just complete shutdown. And then it's only for what? A couple hours, and then back up again, wide awake after only 2 hours sleep. My longest stretch was 3 nights. 3 nights where I woke up one morning, didn't sleep that night because I was in detective mode. The next morning, took the kids to school, did everything I needed to do that night, stayed up again all night in detective mode, reading emails, texts, trying to put together this timeline of my husband's life. Woke up, well, I didn't wake up. The next morning, did the same thing, kids to school, did my work, whatever I was doing. And then that night, that third night, I got about a 2-hour nap, and that was it. So those 3 nights combined 2 hours. That was near the end where I actually knew I was losing my mind, because we must sleep as human beings. It's when the body heals itself. So when we're not sleeping because of Hollywood movies, ruminating thoughts, triggers, things that we just can't get out of our head, and I'm in a therapy session with my husband talking about communication, not going to work. Nobody's talking about my pain. So the betrayed partner's problem, if you will, is the trauma that's living in the body, the dysregulation of the nervous system. That needs to be addressed first.